I participated yesterday at an online networking event. Yes, I've been to a lot of networking events yesterday, and live and online. And I met there another business consultant, and we have an interesting exchange that made me want to make this video. So, as part of the networking event, you have kind of a speed dating for businesses where the participants of the entire event, and there were over 70 people there, are broken into smaller groups, three, four people, and then they introduce themselves, what they do, and if the people are interested, they can continue the conversation later over Zoom, or if they're in the same geography, the same city, they can grab a coffee. So when it was my turn to tell about myself and what I do, I was saying that I was explaining it this way. So you know how on Monday mornings, a lot of business owners hate waking up on a Monday because they know they need to open their laptop or walk through the door into their business, and there is a whole array of problems waiting for them on the other side. And those arrays of problems are the ones that are frustrating and make Mondays not only not fun, but horrible to start. I love my Mondays. My Mondays are the most fun time of the week. And actually, when my Monday is over, I feel like the entire week is over because like it's already almost Tuesday and I haven't managed to do everything that I wanted to do. So I'm actually excited about Mondays. And I was explaining that what I do is I walk into into the business and I tackle every single problem of that business owner, if it's operational, if it's people problem, building high performing teams, if it's customer problems, or technology, integrating technology to streamline, automate, and systemize what they do. And as we solve these problems, we're stabilizing the business and bringing it to a readiness level and preparedness to start growing and scaling. A lot of the mistakes that business owners do is they're rushing into growing and scaling before they have a stable operation. So when they do bring in more customers, it becomes even more chaotic. Chaotic chaotic, um, and it actually can be detrimental to the business and not necessarily increase the revenue of it because chaos brings dissatisfaction of the customers, dissatisfaction creates churn, and so on. So I was talking about that, and once we stabilize the business, we shift to building a strategy for growth and scaling, creating a roadmap, reverse engineering into smaller milestones, and start moving the needle and moving the business forward in the direction that the business owner wants to take it. And the other person, so I was asked, who is your ideal customer? Well, and the way I positioned it was I work with established businesses. Like recently, I was working with a company with 50 employees. And even with the 50 employees, the business owner said, I don't understand. I have 50 employees. Why do I still work 7 days a week? That's a huge problem. Obviously, he hates Mondays or he hates the first day of the week because he works 7 days a week. He has no days off and he has so many problems that he has to deal with. So I said I work with established businesses from 5 to 300 people, and they have business level problems. They have too much business. They have too many customers, and their business is in chaos. The teams they're not built to lift the business up and operate independently. They're dragging the business down, and so on. It's inefficient, it's chaotic, it doesn't have the right tech stack, or it has too much technology is that creates chaos in the operations and too much overhead, and it costs too much money because the more tools you have, the more money you have to pay for it. And the one thing that I said was, if the customers biggest problem in the business is how do I get the next lead? They are not the right customer for me. That's not where I shine. I shine when the bigger problems happen. The bigger, the more excited I get. That's how my brain works. I like puzzles. I like challenges. The other business consultant says, oh, it's his turn. So he said, well, you're working with established businesses. I actually work with startups and solopreneurs, and like I help them generate revenue and so on and so on. So he doesn't even do the same thing that I do, and he doesn't work with the same level of business owners that I work. I work with more established businesses. He works with solopreneur startups. So it's not even the same level. He wraps up the introduction that he made of himself. The third person is speaking in that room. They're introducing themselves, and then they had to hop off because they had another meeting, ending in leaving me and the other business consultant alone in the same room for a few more minutes. So the first thing he says to me when the other guy leaves is, I think your approach is wrong. I disagree with the way you're tackling the businesses. I think that the first step that needs to happen in a business is going in and generating them more revenue and helping them first bring in the money, and only then, once they bring in the money, then you can go and tackle the operations. And I said, well, where's the disagreement? We don't disagree on the approach or the order of things, whether your approach of generating revenue first is more important, or my approach of optimizing, systemizing, and improving the operations and solving the other topics that I was talking to you about. Is just we're dealing with different types of customers with different priorities and different pain points at different points in time for their business. So you're tackling startups and solopreneurs where their biggest problem or their biggest challenge is, how do I generate enough revenue to pay myself, to sustain the business, to pay you as a business consultant, to hire people? How do I generate more revenue and bring in more money into the pocket? Where I'm dealing with business owners, where they have the revenue, they have the customers, they have the people, but they also, because they have so much stuff going on in the business, they have chaos. The chaos causes them to drop the ball on the customers they have already. The chaos causes frustrations for the owner that hates the Mondays, for the team that hates coming into work because something is inefficient, or the customers are upset, so they're upsetting the team. The technology frustrates them because they have 50 different tools they have to use in order to tackle one customer or one problem. Well, if they were integrated the right tech stack, they wouldn't have to deal with so much chaos and copy paste between 5 different or 10 different tools in order to achieve a certain goal in the business. So it's not a disagreement what is the right way, because there's no only one right way to help a business. There is a right way to start interviewing the business about what are their current challenges and what are they experiencing and what was the reason they decided to actually call you as the person, the other person that I was talking to, or myself, and say, hey, Marina, I need your help. Or, hey, Marina, I have a dream. I want to do X. Help me out with that. And as we analyze and as we understand their goals and their challenges and their pain points, now we can jump into solution mode. But in his mind, the only solution is make them more money, like bring in more customers. And only after that, you can tackle everything else in the business. That's not what my business owners need. My business owners have 50 employees and they still work 7 days a week. My business owner wants to expand into US, Canada, and Europe, and their local operations, the headquarters, pardon my French, is a shit show. So how can you take the shit show and expand into 50 states, 13 provinces, or how many provinces we have, and how many countries they want to expand to in Europe, while you're trying to provide the expanded services or the tackle the customers in all these countries using the local resources that are not even operating efficiently for the local customers. So do you want to take the batch of problems that you have right now and multiply it 15, 13, and whatever number of times outside of your local market? That's not the way to go. And unfortunately, the a lot of business owners, how do I explain this? So most of the business owners, I call them fantastic mechanics. You're amazing at what you do on a professional level. If you're a cybersecurity person, IT guy, if you're into healthcare, massage therapist, maybe you're pest control, maybe you're whatever you do, transportate, whatever you do. You love what you do, you're great at it, that's what you learn how to do. Electrician. And then suddenly you are doing your work fantastically. You're required to be not only the professional, the mechanic of your business, but also you have to be the bookkeeper, maybe the accountant, the marketing department. You have to be the branding. You have to create the content. You have to manage the people. You have to assign tasks. Maybe if you don't have a receptionist or assistant, you have to do those assignments and tasks, book appointments, customer service, sales. So many hats on one person. And let's say you survived all of this and you grew your business. And you did a fantastic job growing the business, whatever method you used. And now you have a team. And the bigger the team and the more customers you serve, the bigger the problems you're experiencing. The type of problems changes. And even if you have a 50-person team and you're still working 7 days a week, that should raise a red flag. Why? And hint, it's not the money. Because if it was the problem of the money, you wouldn't have 50 employees. For the question of money, you would not have stayed on the phone 16 hours a day, receiving calls, booking appointments, pre-screening the customers, booking them into the calendar so you can send out a crew to those locations to do an inspection or sending them a quote. You know what I mean? Like different level of businesses, different stages of businesses of growth in that business have different level of problems. And the bigger the business, the bigger the problems are usually. Both operational, team management, technology. You have 10, 20 tools to do something that one tool can do it all. So why do you have 20 tools? Because you don't know what you don't know. You don't have that tech skill to go and analyze my current needs, what is available out there, because it takes time and you don't have that resource. The one resource that all of us are running out of on a daily basis is time. So you can either do it yourself or hire somebody that has the skill, has the knowledge, has the experience to do it for you. Or maybe they already know the answer to it and all you have to do is ask and get it done for you. There's nothing worse than paying somebody for an advice and then go and spend time on trying to save few bucks and try to integrate it yourself instead of hiring somebody that could do it much faster, more efficient, and give you access to the technology on the spot within 1 or 2 weeks versus you trying to figure it out and fight the learning curve while you're fighting your other tasks in the business. I know I went a little bit off the topic, but that disagreement that the other business consultant positioned had no merits to it. It had no merits because it had the experience, his experience with the size of customers he's dealing with, and the needs of those customers is different because they're not there yet. My customers, when it comes to revenue, is been there, done that, moved on to bigger and better. While his customers haven't been there, haven't done there, haven't moved on yet, and they're trying to just make ends meet so they can afford paying themselves the salaries, the expenses, the fixed expenses, the variable expenses, and so on. So don't rush into telling the other professional what, even if they do the same thing and you see them as a competitor or you see them as a threat to take over your business, which it's not, because there's enough business for everybody and nobody's competing for your piece of pie. It's not like you can service all the businesses in the world, and they're not even all of them are your target audience. So why would you try to belittle or disagree or say that the other person is wrong? Listen, analyze, and see if your feedback or your insight is appropriate for the situation and the person you're talking to. Let me know your thoughts. Comment below. Did you experience something similar? What are your thoughts about where your business is at? Are you struggling with getting the right level of revenue to support and the sustainability of your business? Or you're already been there, done that, moved on, and now you're struggling with the chaos of the aftermath of having too much business, which is a conversation I had with a company, like a business owner that I was talking to yesterday at another event. And he said, I have too much business. I don't know what to do with it because I don't have enough employees to service the customers, but the business keeps on flowing because we have a lot of referrals. People love us. And he showed me his phone and he's like, his calendar is fully booked. And he says, I'm looking for employees right now because I have 3.5 employees and I need one more. I have the equipment. I have nobody to operate the equipment. And I said, well, let me try to help you on that one. Now it's his turn to take me up on that offer.